Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm so glad for you guys to join, and I want to say hello. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the full moon tonight. First of all, happy cold full moon, which is in Gemini. And if you are not familiar with what's going on, well, this is a very exciting but very emotional full moon. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because this is the end of the year 2025. The date of December 5th is going to start the next 3 years. And it's just so many important things happening right now. And if you're one of those that are truly awakening, then this full moon is really affecting you. As you guys know, it is very important for me to teach with raw and messy emotion, for to be as open and honest and just show you everything all the time. I know there's a lot of people out there that like to keep the facade up, that they're these spiritually enlightened beings, that nothing ever happens and it's all sunshine and rainbows, but we all know that that's just not true anymore. The real part of awakening is very messy. And it started the other morning when I had a dream of a situation with an old friend of mine. And she made a choice in her life and thought and created this idea that I was going to be this judgmental monster, and kind of ended our friendship without even telling. And by the time I found out about it, I had no clue what was going on. I was really hurt and devastated by it. Fast forward 10 years later, I decided to, my psyche and my higher self, we decided to have a dream about it and an ending to it. And it started a lot of emotions. When I woke up, I was very emotional. I was crying, and a lot, actually. If you guys don't know, when I cry, I cry like a baby. I do. I have, oh my God, it is like, and nobody ever expects that from me, but yes, I do. I cry like a baby. And I went throughout my day, I went through work, everything seemed okay. And when I went to go play pool, I got my butt kicked for 6 hours straight. I could not win a match. I could not, everything went wrong. I could not get a lucky break. Every time I hit something, I either scratched or I put myself, and I was just like, what is going on? Anyways, by the time 6 hours it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was tired. I was emotional from earlier that day, and it just popped that valve open. And when I tell you, if you guys know me and you're close to me, you know when Raina pops that valve, oh, that steam comes out, that fireness comes out. Yeah, and it did. And I went into a very, very explosive, very, very aggressive, not like in an it's hard to describe this aggressive because it's not like I want to fight people, but it's just like I don't give a crap. I don't care about what's going on. This is how I feel. Screw spirituality, screw consciousness. I don't care about being a guide. I don't care about anything. And I just went into that all night long. And it was very raw, very intense. It took me to the brink of just wanting to just walk away from everything. And it was just all this raw emotion. I really didn't care. I was just hating everybody and hating everything. And I allow myself to feel that in that moment. Because truth be told, I know I don't hate people. I know I don't hate this situation. I know I don't hate what I do. But sometimes when we're overloaded, when we've taken on too much stress, or we have unhealed emotions, those things can pile up on us, and eventually it pops our top. And that's what happened, because this full moon, this cold moon that we're going through right now, is actually a moon pushing us through. For those of us that are awakening, it's pushing us to let go of old stories and baggages and old loops. Well, this was an old loop of mine. One of the last things I've had to deal with to start this next 3 years, because this next 3 years, people, is going to be rough for a lot of people that aren't awakening. They're going to think it's Armageddon and it's the end of the world and all these things, and it's going to be rough for a lot of people, but it has to happen because we have to make way for the new world. But anyways, yeah, it was a very rough night. I was up till 7 o'clock this morning, crying and ranting and raving and blowing my top. And finally, I fell asleep for about 4 hours. I got up around maybe 11:30, maybe closer to 12. I don't remember. And it started all over again. And I was sitting here at the computer trying to do stuff, and I was just bawling and just venting and just letting everything all out. And I let it be raw because it's important that while we're doing healing, we have this idea that we're not supposed to admit our true feelings. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with sometimes you being so fed up with things, so frustrated with things, so overloaded that in those moments you could feel like you hate the world or hate others or just don't want to do it anymore. And that is okay. And that is why I'm telling you that. Even someone like me who works on themselves constantly gets frustrated, we get fed up, and there's old loops that we still have to heal, old timelines. And when that stuff happens, we have to allow ourselves to blow. And let me tell you something, it just went. It went for many hours today. And finally I was like, all right, I just let it all out. And I went and I sat by my couch and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stop for a minute. I'm going to watch some TV, watch some wacky cartoons. I watched some wacky cartoons for a little bit, came back to my computer. And as I was sitting there, all of a sudden I felt another Kundalini activation, this energy from the base of my spine swirl up in this intense heat. And I was like, oh, hold on, because the last time it happened, I almost it wasn't so dizzy, but it kind of makes you like hold on to things because it's intense and it's unexpected. And all this energy just released. And I felt light again. And I felt like I didn't hate the world, and I didn't hate what I do, and I didn't hate situations anymore. And I didn't feel the victim anymore, because sometimes we have to allow ourselves to play that in moments, not all the time, but in moments. And the clarity of the mind and the clearing of the mental fog came. And it was and my mind is sharp again. I feel light. I feel great. And this cold moon that's happening right now is a very rare moon. And it's preparing us for the year 2000, from December 5th, all the way to 2028, 29. And like I said, it's going to be a lot of chaos, but we have to release it. So if we are awakening and we're truly facing ourselves, then this moon is really rocking you right now. And it's something that you just have to allow it. Don't be ashamed of your raw emotions. Don't be ashamed to say things that you really feel in those moments, even if it's cold and nasty and that, allow yourself to just be human. Sometimes we spend so much time trying to be the spiritual one or the awakened one or whatever, the conscious being, that we forget to be human. And I'm guilty of that sometimes too. Since birth, I've put a lot of pressure on myself because of the way things had to be and just the teachings and everything. I always thought I had to be this mold. And now I realize that I don't have to be that mold. I'm going to be me in my full, whether people like it or not. I'm going to be open and raw. And this goes to anybody, even people that aren't on the I am path or aren't awakening. Still, it's healthy for you to allow yourself to release those raw emotions. But this moon is really going to help you connect with the true story of who you are. It's going to help you release and break those old loops and reconnect with the person and the truth of who you are. From this moment on, whether you're awake or you're asleep, this is who you're going to be forward. So if you're still holding on to ego, if you're still chasing, if you're still holding on to belief systems, if you refuse to give this stuff up and you refuse and you still want to hold on to these fake ideas of positive and negative, and you got to be positive, and all these man-made self-taught ideas here in the third dimension, then that is what you're going to continue to be for the next 3 years and more, and it's going to bring you to your knees. If you're awakening and you're allowing, then allow all these things that you no longer need to just release itself. And then you can go with the next 3 years. It'll still be rough for you, but you won't be feeling attacked. You'll understand what's actually going on. You won't take what's happening personal. The stress, everything will relieve and remove itself in a different way. And you'll be able to focus on it, awakening and evolving your consciousness so that we can move with the 5D world. And that's the most important thing. But I want to keep this video short, and I just want to tell you guys that yes, this full moon was messy. It was messy for me. If you guys would have been in the fly on the wall with me the last day and a half, yeah, it was not pretty. And you know what? That's okay. That doesn't make me any less of a conscious being. That doesn't make me, my evolution and everything that I've been working for any less. It actually makes it more. And so allow yourself, whatever emotions to come up, whatever's happening, allow it to happen. Feel it, breathe it, live it like a dragon if you need to, and just let it happen. All right, everybody, I'll see you soon.